Flash played a near flawless game. Rhett had an exceptional build order, but may have teched a little bit too quickly. He slows it down a bit. I do anticipate he could give Flash a run for his money.
That definitely could happen. Game 2 is moments from being underway. As we can see, the map here is going to be Cloud Kingdom over at look at those Marauders just heading across the map as the crowd is cheering on Rhett. They want him to win.
I mean, Rhett is a huge crowd favorite here at MLG. I will not tell a lie. Has performed so brilliantly. And you know, a lot of the brilliance you can just see on how swiftly Rhett was able to just seize a 20 supply lead without really any pressure having been applied to Flash. I mean, Rhett just sprinted all the way up. So without any further ado, let us introduce our players. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, from Team KT, heralded as the best Brood War player of all time, making his run as best SC2 player of all time. It is KT's Flash.
And over here on the top right of Cloud Kingdom, we have Team Liquid's Rhett. You know, one of the things I think Rhett struggled with last game is he invested a lot of his resources into those earlier Mutalists and Speedlings, and we can see that resulted in him having that 20 supply lead early on. But while he was doing that, Flash had invested his resources into early double engineering bay, early third command center, and then he was building like 5 barracks and 6 reactors at the same time. So there was that temporary spot where he had a food disadvantage, but he had so much infrastructure set up, and Rhett was unable to damage him. Flash was playing the greedier build, and Rhett was really unable to get in there with the Mutalists. But could he have?
You know, I do think that Rhett, at the very least, has to make an attempt to poke. I mean, no matter what, you can just hurl a whole bunch of units at the second and third, and it's difficult for Terran to begin to move out, and especially with a Rhett lining overlords along the left and right side of the map, you can get some good vision on any sort of incoming drop. So hopefully Rhett actually, I would honestly say, trusts himself enough to begin getting aggressive against Flash.
Flash is a player that's really hard to be aggressive against, but if you're not aggressive against him, you saw what happened last game. I mean, he macros up insanely, and then once he moves out, what was so amazing is how he controlled both sides. Terran's such a micro-intensive race, but he never once got hit by a big baiting explosion on either side of those bioforces. That was absolutely amazing from Flash. Just showing his multitasking is unparalleled.
Absolutely impossible to find someone who can control multiple armies in multiple locations better than Flash. Rhett now actually skipping his gas. Looks like he's going to be going for an ultra fast third. And I actually do like the idea of him going for that third hatchery before he gets Queens 3 and 4 up. Because honestly, the Hellions are going to be delayed. You've already seen a command center first. Could be a nice opportunity to sort of try to one-up a greedy Terran.
It's definitely a great reaction to the way Flash is playing. You know, the Reaper opening is so common among Terran players that a lot of Zerg players are doing what Rhett did last game to try to get that fast speed to react to that. But noticing that Flash is not going for the Reapers, instead going pure economy early on, Rhett's going to react by saying, you know what, if I want to keep up with you as the game progresses, I've got to do the same thing. So he's going to go gases for a little while, pump out pure drones, and then, you know, get that tech up a little bit later with a stronger mineral income to back everything up.
So here it looks like we're starting to see the creep spread begin for Liquid Rhett. Starting to take his double gas. Yep, double gas at 5:15. Very typical timing. The expand can go down. 2 evolution chambers can go down. You can get the 1-1 upgrades along with the third base very, very nicely. And of course, Rhett just churning out the drones right now, about to hop way ahead in the drone count. 34 to 26.
We can see Flash playing very similar to how he did last game. The third command center is being produced. A couple of Hellions are probably bound to be produced in a second or two to get some map control, get some vision, and try to figure out what Rhett is doing. Tech Lab goes down on the barracks, signifying he wants to start researching Stim to progress into bio as the game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so by the book. Get the Hellions to contain. Don't get aggressive with them because you need them to contain. Get the Stim very quickly, get the 1-1 upgrades very quickly. The only thing that's a little different is that a player like Bomber would be opting to build tanks to defend against the huge variety of, you know, roaches or banelings or that sort of thing. But here we're seeing Flash go straight up to the bio-mine mixture, cutting those tanks out of the mix. Might seem risky, but if you've researched Liquid Ret's gameplay, you know that he's really rarely ever going to be going for those aggressive Baneling or Roach plays.
Flash is one of those players who almost get away with anything. Every once in a while you see a player try to punish Flash, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to punish him, and then they run into like 5 tanks because he figured it out that they were going to do that, and then he totally changes his play. The number of times you'll catch Flash unprepared, you can probably count on one hand after watching about 100 games. 4 Hellions here trying to slow the creep tumor spread, getting a couple, but the Queens are still got enough creep tumors down. That creep will spread down to the low ground. Rhett does want to get that creep over to the 3rd base as well, moving the Spine Crawler there to help push away those Hellions so he can start to have the drones mine from that base.
Looks like that Spine Crawler is heading all the way up. Try to defend that expansion. Got to be some careful construction and canceling of all those creep tumors to try to get everything spread properly. Layer coming up for Liquid Ret, but look back in Flash's base. I mean, everything is running like clockwork. We're seeing the barracks go down, Widow Mines pop out. We're seeing the 1-1 get started, and oh gosh, I mean, just great job right there by Flash, actually shooting at the rocks to make sure that he could use the splash damage to kill the creep tumors.
Flash is doing everything in basically the most optimal manner possible. You can also see he's moved to take his 3rd base much faster than the last game. Of course, this is a reaction to seeing the fact that Rhett has taken a 3rd base, so he knows there's no fast mutas or crazy fast 2-base aggression heading his way, so he can afford to go and throw that command center on the low ground. Another difference this game is the upgrades. Rhett has actually got his upgrades basically even with Flash. We saw last game Rhett really struggled to trade efficiently versus Flash's well-microed bio compositions because of the upgrade difference, but this game Rhett is prioritizing those upgrades a little bit faster. Mutas will be a little bit later this game, but he's got a much stronger economy to produce more units off of.
Yeah, I like Rhett's position, especially that he can begin constructing a macro hatch a lot earlier. Also, I mean, look at the speed that Flash is just darting around the map. He's keeping a watchful eye, but he's not actually doing a lot of literal movement of his units. I mean, that 1 Widow Mine is going to be a real pain. But I mean, just a fantastic job at this point by Flash, just covering the entire map. 1 Widow Mine will fall, but a Queen gets picked.
Not a bad trade for Flash here. Of course, anytime you can trade a Widow Mine for a Queen, you pretty much want to grab a hold of that. Flash keeps using Widow Mines to help contain the creep spread. The idea of this is that when the Queens poke out to lay more tumors, the Widow Mine hits them, the Hellions can then go in and finish the job. Flash adding more and more Widow Mines into his composition, not missing even a second in starting those 2-2 upgrades to instant to 1-1 finishes. Rat staying just about even with Flash in that regard.
At this point in time, I mean, you got to appreciate the way that Flash is so meticulous with his building setup back home. All those depots that are right by the 3rd base, making sure that they can do complete and total wall off, just so careful and checking around all sides. Look at the way that the mines are spread out right where the creep would like to be generated, covering all the possible entrances. Creep tumors trying to dig forward.
Oh, a giant pack of Zergings taken out there by a mine. Flash is getting so much value from these mines. Of course, that mine will be taken out. But they're so replaceable, and every time you get a good hit like that, it gives him a little bit of burst of confidence as he knows every Zerging he kills is one less his Marine squad will have to deal with once they move out. Probably as actually they're moving out right about now. He's going to try to clear some of his creep up.
Well, are there enough Banelings? Baneling speed not quite yet done. It looks like Rhett may have to be executing a cancel. It looks like Flash is being very cautious with moving forward. He's actually trying to get more units. Oh, he's going to go for the scan, try to pick off as many creep tumors as he can. He stims to dart some of those units forward to get a very nice spread. But here comes the Baneling from Rhett, getting in position. Now the expansion has finished. Rhett cannot cancel. Will Rhett opt to engage off creep? Will he roll right by that Widow Mine? He's got to be, oh no! He managed not to.
Very dangerous to engage off creep for Rhett. Very dangerous to engage on creep for Flash. The Widow Mine's going to take out Amita, damage to rest. Oh, the other Widow Mine is going to get another hit off.
Oh, he's got to pull back. He's got to be really careful. Those Widow Mines actually can work against the Terran if Flash is not careful. Flash actually does not have combat shield yet, which is kind of surprising at this phase in the game.
Something Flash does is he really prioritizes those engineering upgrades so fast that it, and he likes to stay on a single tech lab as well. So delays the combat shield just a bit because his main engagements are going to be when 2-2 and combat shield finish. Before that, what he's just trying to do is keep the creep back so that instant those upgrades finish, he can get in there and get the engagement done, hopefully before his opponent gets 2-2. But this game, Red has been keeping up with them pretty much in upgrades perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, there's an attempted counterattack by Liquid Red, but a lot of those Zerglings down at the south side did get picked off by a Widow Mine. And we're starting to see Flash just maintain perfect positioning up on this high ground. Does Rhett even have any units? I mean, without really any engagements at this point in game, Flash has just completely overrun Rhett.
Rhett does not want to engage the army right there because it's so close to the edge of creep. If he tries to run into Reach, he'll back off of creep, and then once off creep, they can micro against the bacon very, very well. Rhett will try to defend his third base if Flash pushes too far onto the creep, though. Is Flash going to overextend? Is Rhett going to jump on it? He does!
Oh! He's darting right on in on creep. He cannot retreat fast enough. Flash's numbers dwindle. There's the mine, picking off all the remaining banelings, and it looks like Rhett gets a little bit of hope, but at the right side, that's the real problem for Rhett. He will rapidly lose all these expansions unless he pulls back every single one of those units to defend. Widow Mine's burrowing. Flash in perfect positioning will absolutely take out this rightmost base.
Rhett lost all of his banings to those Widow Mine explosions on the left side, which gave him no way to deal with his army on the right. Flash, of course, taking great trades here, great trades there. Now is up 50 food off the back of very cost-efficient trades. Mutas flying very dangerously. The Widow Mine cooldown is now off. That Widow Mine has 17 kills. Those guys are hard-working Widow Mines.
I mean, Flash has this map completely locked down with nice defensive Widow Mines.
He actually has Widow Mine sprinkled everywhere. It's like looking at a checkerboard or something.
We see yet again the boosters just too fast for the Mutalisk. Rhett tries to retreat, runs right over Widow Mine after Widow Mine. Mutalisk getting picked off. A nice surround by Liquid Red. Flash is just playing perfectly. I mean, Rhett is playing well, but what can you do against a flawless Terran play?
This is looking so impressive. Against Bly, Flash showed one or two moments where he might have showed vulnerability, but here against Rhett, Flash's micro is spot on, his macro is spot on, he's multitasking everywhere. His Widow Mines have full map vision and full map control. This is something that Zerg Creep is supposed to do, but Flash is saying, no, I will control the map myself. I don't care if you're Zerg.
God, Flash looks fantastic. Nothing Rhett can do to deal with all these drops. Mutalisk tried to chase down all these medevacs, but emergency thruster is just too strong. We'll pull back in time.
More and more and more Widow Mines being rallied up to the front. I love how Flash makes so many of them. He's got probably about 20 out in the field by now, or actually 16, bringing up 6 with this squadron over here. Ultras are very, very tough, but enough Widow Mine hits can whittle those guys down.
Oh no, this is gonna hurt. The Widow Mines only,
Oh, the Ultra is getting out of range before. No drilling claws there, so it took the Widow Mines a few seconds to bury, but Flash's stutter step is so good, he loses just about no bio in that retreat from the Ultras.
Dude, don't boo Flash. He's amazing. I mean, these medevac drops popping right into the main base, absolutely everywhere. Widow Mines in perfect positions. The instant Rhett pulls back to deal with this drop in the main, another attack moves in along the left flank.
Flash is multitasking everywhere, controlling the right side with Widow Mines, the main with drop plate, the left side with another bio squadron. Rhett's trying to struggle to defend these locations. The Ultras are trying to deal with the main, but Flash has pulled his bio units behind the minerals. The Ultras are getting channeled through a tiny little chokehold there. Flash trading very well. Rhett's third is under fire. A good fungal goes down. One Ultras tries to clean it up. I mean, the Flash's macro is so good.
I mean, the Ultra's doing 44 damage, a swipe, two-shotting the Marines, but still, I'm hearing Mind Blast go off around the map. I can't even keep track of it. Rhett can hardly take a step out into the center of the map without a mine detonating right in his face. More medevacs rally up. 11 medevacs on the field right now and 15 Widow Mines. It looks like, no, the Widow Mines will not be taken out before the burrow. The top left expansion might be able to stay alive for now at least, but a couple nice fungals from Rhett might buy a little bit of hope, but I think there's too many Marine Marauders. Now Rhett up against just an impending Doom army. The top left expansion's barely alive. The fourth is going to have to be canceled again. The third now under fire.
Yeah, the third's going to go down. That's going to probably signal the end for Rhett as Flash will then move on, take on top left. 5 more command centers into production tab from Flash. Units streaming across the map. Widow Mine sprinkled across the right side, making sure Rhett never had a chance to reestablish that right base.
GG!
Flash is just... I don't know how to describe this guy. He's looking, I don't know what to say.
What's crazy about it is that, you know, we saw innovation, we saw last go really out of control with dropping. dropping aggressively, hundreds of thousands of medevacs, right? Well, actually, to be literal, maybe 10 to 20 drops per game. But in this game, we saw Flash perform 3 or 4. Mostly, it was just maneuvering his army around the map, repositioning the Widow Mines, getting little spatial advantages, and the instant he had Rhett pushed all the way back to his front lines, Flash could attack wherever he wanted, and there was no way Rhett could answer.
That was such an important part of Flash's play. You know, he didn't go quite as drop heavy, I think, because he really focused on controlling the creep. You know, if he could get the creep back, then with his great biomicro, he could always trade favorably in the engagements as long as they were off creep.
It does mean that Flash leads the series 2-0. We did see Bly in the same situation last night when Bly began to have some amazing back-to-back matches against Flash. So there is a possibility for Rhett to begin to pull it back, but it almost makes you wonder if Mutalisks are not the way to go. The way he dealt with them, just absolutely astounding. They couldn't even kick into aggression ever.
You can't be aggressive against Flash because by the time you think about it, he's maxed out and moving out on you, so it's really, really hard to get that opportunity. Anyways, Flash is up 2-0. We'll be right here with Game 3 after a short break.